Early childhood is a period from prenatal to age 8, and early childhood development looks at the care, development and growth. It's the process of change in a child's physical body size and height. Under the National Development Plan 3, government intends to increase the coverage on years of schooling from 6.1 to 11 years before 2025, and also reduce prevalence of under 5 stunting from 28.9% to 19%.
Child is underfed. If a child is living in an environment where they are not getting the nutritious food, then the brain development is going to be compromised. If you look at Uganda, for example, for our children aged 3 years to 6 years who are developmental on track in literacy and numeracy, for those that are not stunted, 31% are actually developmental on track in literacy and numeracy, and for those who are stunted, only 13% of them are developmentally on track.
The most critical gap lacking is of a policy to regulate the early childhood education, and this affects access to pre-primary education. Although early childhood education is said to be done by mostly private sector, government schools have the early childhood education centers.
They are unlicensed. Who is to do this? And this finally affects the service, the quality of the service. It affects the access, but also children receiving wrong content, because nobody is supervising that children are getting the right content at the right time, which are age appropriate.
Already there's some part of what we would call ECCE that is being funded by government, but then it's at the wrong level. So you find that currently the education system is having so many young children below 5 years who are in P1 because parents are working but they can't afford ECCE, and these receive capitation. So it means government is funding ECCE but at a wrong level. We need a system that can now sort them.
Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, together with Early Years Count Uganda, a non-government organization, and the Parliamentary Forum on Children, have held a meeting to orient members of Parliament on early childhood development with emphasis on investing in early childhood development.
If we can track each and every coin, because you see, money can be scattered, okay? Money can be scattered. And I don't think this is captured under the 18 areas programs for budgeting. It's also still scattered, so we didn't identify it as a critical sector to say this is a program on its own, so you can follow the money and the program.
Whereas Deputy Speaker of Parliament Tayebwa advocates for increased funding to both UPE and USE, expressed the need to conduct a thorough audit on the schools to eliminate ghosts.
The deep corruption. There is a very, very deep corruption where they registered numbers, okay, and not the exact ones. So now schools swap. When you're coming to do census in a certain school, they use students from the other school to add up the numbers, Most of these numbers are imaginary. So like how we've done audit for human resource in the country, we need to do serious audit for our students in these schools.
Stakeholders also expressed the need to empower families economically to increase their household income. I'm Nafka Farida and Juman Samba in Kampala.